pretty old kit for you that I want to show you, and that is the Harbour Tug boat from Revell in 108 scale. Pretty strange scale, I know. And this kit is one of the oldest kit which is still available in the stores. But why? Why is it still available when it's so old? I think let's do a inbox review of that kit and let's take a look. Why is it still available? So let's change the camera angle. So let's start with the inbox review. So this is the Harbour Tug boat from Revell in 108 scale. It's only 23 centimeters long, and yeah, it is the typical box for the pre-facelift time. Side view and the typical back view. So let's take a look inside. We have one big plastic bag and the instructions, and that's it. So let's start with the instructions. That by side we have a little leaflet with the securities inside and the little decal sheet. This is only a security text. Good, let's take a look inside. So we have a picture of the prototype model, and this instruction was printed in 2001. So we have in German a little story about the boat and in English. More safety text. We have the icons or symbols which are used in the instructions, and all the colors you need. And here is a small overview of all the sprues, and we will start with the instructions. The instructions of Revell, even the older ones, are, in my opinion, one of the best. They are clear to, it's very easy to work with them. And as you notice now, we have more security text. I don't know why. It is not in order. You have to put it like that. So, and more instructions. Even more instruction. And that's it. No painting guide. And that is the instructions. Pretty simple, easy, nothing special. So the decal sheet is very, very small, but it is not from cartograph, it is printed in Bünde. But they look good. Even for the age, nearly no fading. And nothing more, nothing less than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little decals. Okay, let's take a look inside. The plastic bag is still sealed, so it was never opened. Just glued with a piece of sticky tape. And a bit unusual for more modern kits is that the sprues are loose. And we have one little part which fell off, but it's not damaged. We have a little bit of flesh on it, but only a little bit. So let's take a closer look. These are all pieces of flesh. Don't need that. And this is the hull. It's a one-piece hull, and it was produced in 1979. I hope you can read it. It's red plastic. I'm not the biggest fan of red plastic, but yeah, it is how it is. The modding itself from the outside looks good. It's not very scratchy. A bit, there's one scratch, but that's okay. I think that it's not a scratch. This is a seam line because it runs around all the way, so it's not a scratch. My fault. And then the plastic has no scratches. So we have a little bit of flesh here, but it's easy to remove. That's nothing worth to mention. And as you can see, it's not very big if you compare to my hand. It's a quite small boat. So the next piece is this one. This runs around the boat. It has a nice structure, even for the age of 70 years. We have flesh, but only here on the sprues, not on the parts. The parts are, of course, when you are 70 years old, a bit softer. And we have injector marks on the inside, which you have to remove. The pieces are a little bit, just a little bit bent, but that is easy to repair because it's only a piece of plastic strip, nothing more, and you can easily form it in the shape you need. And the next sprue is this one. It's a piece which comes on the nose. We have hooks here, and here's one part missing. I think we will find it later. There's another piece which fell off. That's typical when you put all them, here is it, when you put all the pieces in one plastic bag. They can break after a while because they're dangling around and they can hook together and they will fall off then. But as long as they are okay, the parts, that's fine. And yeah, the part itself, the details are a bit soft, okay, but that's it. And you have a bit of flesh which you have to clean. But even then, it looks good. The next sprue, we call it railings, but they look good. I had built ships with railings which were totally bent, and they were younger than this one. You have the boat next to that and two ladders, I think, or also railings. Don't know the English word for that, but even then, as I mentioned, 70 years old and they look still good. Maybe this is the reason why it's still available. So the deck parts, they look nice. A bit of plastic there. There are a lot of details molded on, directly molded on, like that ring here. I hope you can see it. So like that ring, or yeah, nice. We have the doors and the windows with small rivets around, which are raised, of course. That looks good. The small ladder is also molded on there. We have a lot of parts which are molded on at that time, like the axe, the fire extinguisher, the safety ring or swimming ring or whatever you call it, and no details on the inside. Interestingly, all the numbers of the parts are molded in the parts of the inside. And the next sprue is this one, also parts of the structure, and this is the opposite. They are slightly bent. This part is slightly bent, but it's the only part on the sprue. And interesting is these parts are molded in 73, so you have, or the cast is from 73, you have parts from the cast which were from different time frames. 73, the hull was from 79, and this one was made in Venice, California. It's written here. So I think it's an old Revell USA kit. So you also have all parts molded in here, but they look good for that age. Yeah, I really like it, and I think it's still worth it to be on the market. Look at that, for that age. Red is a bit unpleasant. Can't see all the details on the red plastic, it's hard to show. And I noticed you have no clear parts for the windows, but making clear parts is not that hard. And the last, no, it's not the last sprue, there are two connected together. They are hooked together. This is one reason why you can, why you have loose parts then, because they are all packed in one big bag and they can hook it in together and you will rip them off the parts, like this one, or this one. What I really like is you have crew members. You have 3 guys staying on the boat. That's not typical. Okay, you have to work a bit on them because they have a hole in the back. And there. You have to fill that, and yeah, but you have crew members, which is a really nice feature. And yeah, no flash again, or just a little bit, just a tiny bit. And next sprue with little parts, a rubber bolt. And the last sprue is the stand. Apart from the upper deck, the things are molded on there again. You can see it there and there. And sadly you have a bit injector marks on the outside. And that's it. So that's it. That's all what is in the box. It's not a firework of details, of course, because it is 70 years old. I think your grandfather or your grandmother doesn't look that appeal anymore than 60 years ago, or 40 years ago. And but for that age, it still looks good. The ship modelers, especially for small vessels or small boats, civilian boats, they have to live with that what is on the market, and that's not much. You have newer kits, of course, but these are mostly bigger ships like the Aida or the container ship, or you have military ships, because that market is way bigger. But this little kit, in my opinion, is still worth it to build it, and you can still find it on the internet. That people still build it, and that kit is 70 years old. Keep that in mind. And I think it is still worth it to build it, because it is I think it's one of the oldest kits which is still available. And for that, the quality is not that bad. Yes, you have ejector pin marks, you have details that are molded in, like this one. On newer kits they have extra parts, or you have little things inside the box to replicate that. But in the early 50s, or in the mid of the 50s, this was state of the art, and it is still a good kit, I think. I would recommend that, especially for beginners, because it is a one-part hull, which is easy to put together. You haven't got that many parts, and the big advantage is you don't have to paint it red. You can paint it whatever you like, and that makes our kit very versatile. Because it's a civilian thing, they were overpainted in the years many times when they changed the companies, for example. And I think they are still, well, ships last long and they will last long. And you can still find these ships mostly in museums or somewhere else. And that kit, for example, is now in London. The Lucky 11 is in London, I think so, yes. And it's still on the water. Not as a tugboat anymore, I think it's a museum ship, but it's still alive, it's not wrecked. Yeah, you can get that for around about 10 to 15 euros. I bought that for 8 euros online from a privateer, from a private person. And yeah, it's a small money with a small little lovely ship. Good. That's it. I can't show you more because it's not more. But as I mentioned before, it is still a lovely old grandfather kit. It's like our grandfather. We love them. They are old. They are a bit smelly, but they are still adorable and lovely. Good. Then I wish you a nice day, and we will see us in the next video. Bye.